I can't give you anything but love, baby. That's the only thing I've plenty of, baby. Dream a while, scheme a while, we're sure to find happiness, and I guess all those things you've always pined for. Gee, I'd like to see you looking swell, baby. Diamond bracelets, Woolworth doesn't sell, baby. Till that lucky day, you know darn well, baby, I can't give you anything but love.
Hi, I'm Gabi Love, and this is the Dr. Love Show. Today's episode I'm calling Stallions. And what a stallion is to me is a fine, young, hot, young male professional in any city. And today we have an awesome cast. I actually was able to pick up some twins over at Morgan Stanley, Adam and Daniel. And they're here as my guest stars, representing one of my stallions, two of my stallions. And their birthday happens to be tomorrow as well. So we want to wish them happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you, Gabi.
I'm finally figuring out who is who. This is Daniel. Oh my God, I'm finally getting it. And this is Adam. So thank you both for being here.
Thank you, Gabi.
And then we have Andrew here, who is another fine catch of mine as a stallion. He happens to be 21. Can that be any sexier?
Can it? You guys tell me.
I'm 41. Do you know what I would do to say I'm 21?
Surprise me.
So here we are, and now I'm going to let the guys tell us a little bit about themselves, and then we're going to pick their brains about love, sex, intimacy, and women. So let's go ahead and start with you, Daniel. Tell us a little bit about yourself and anything you might want to say about your love life if you feel like it.
Okay. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Daniel Kaplan. I am 27 years old. Tomorrow I will be 28. I am a native New Yorker. I live here in New York. I love it. I love the city. And I'm a financial advisor at Morgan Stanley, and I'm really excited to be here on the show. Thank you, Gabi.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. You're welcome. It's an
you.
honor. It really is.
Thank you. And let's move over to the twin.
Hello, I am the twin. I am Daniel's 7-minute older brother, Adam Kaplan. This sounds very similar to what you just heard. I'm 27 years old. I will be turning 28 tomorrow, and I work as a financial advisor at Morgan Stanley with my brother. It's an honor to be on the show with you, Gabi. I thank you for inviting us. And on behalf of Daniel and myself, we're both excited to engage in the conversation that we have ahead of us.
What are the chances of hot twin brothers in any city, anywhere in the world, working both for Morgan Stanley? I have to applaud Morgan Stanley for making this happen, because that's got to be a really cool story for the two of you in your dating life. The women must just really suck that one up. Both even work for the same company, and they're absolutely identical, apparently 7 minutes apart.
Correct.
That is so cool. That I feel I have some of the rarest opportunity of a persona here with me today, because that is a very rare, statistically significantly odd, factual reality that twin brothers work for the same company. So very cool. And now, how about you? Tell us a little bit about yourself, Andrew.
Well, I'm 21 years old. I was born and raised in Egypt. Moved to New York City when I was 15. Very much into working out, motorcycles, sports cars, skydiving, pretty much all the crazy things that you guys can think of. I do it all.
Fun. So you're a thrillist, is what you are. And that is very sexy for all the hot femmes out there. We love men that take chances or into adventures. I call them thrillists. So thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for having me, Gabi.
Thank you. So I'm going to get thrown a little bit off script here now because we mentioned Egypt. And I've always been fascinated by the country of Egypt. I've always wanted to visit it. I love the Cleopatra. There's a femininity there with the women and the history there that I think is phenomenal. Makeup derived out of Egypt for us femmes, by the way. All this makeup I have on is
That's absolutely true,
started
yes.
in your country. So it was God bless the Egyptian women. So since you are from Egypt and now you do live between Miami and New York, it seems, tell us what do you appreciate about the feminine culture from your culture? And then I want to know what you appreciate in the American female culture.
Well, I would like to start with actually men in Egypt, in ancient Egypt, used to wear makeup, not women.
Oh.
So most people don't know that, but that's how it actually started. The pharaohs back in the days, they used to wear like wigs, makeup. They used to try to look similar to gods. So that's how the whole makeup thing started.
Wow.
Over the years, it has changed. Egypt now more into covering women more than showing their beautiness. Like most women in Egypt would be covered in the hijab or maybe sometimes the niqab, which would only show the eyes. America, when I came over here, is more civilized. The way I see it, more open. I moved here when I was 15, and I absolutely fell in love with New York. Beside the weather, it's a beautiful city to live in, to grow in it. I have not been back since then, but hopefully this upcoming next summer I'll go back to visit.
Wow, amazing. I'm learning history on my makeup and on women and what's really going on right now currently in another country. So wonderful. Thank you for educating me on that. I really appreciated that.
Of course.
Now I want to talk a little bit about sex because it is the Dr. Love Show. So we can't just stick to history and facts. We need to get down and dirty into some sexuality going on here. So who am I going to pick on next? Daniel?
Why not? Gladly.
My brother's name is Daniel. So I can relate to you in that way. I have a brother named Daniel, too. He's adorable.
I'm biased, but it's a great name.
He's adorable. He just got married last year. Him and his wife are San Francisco hippies. They have 100 animals, and they're starting to adopt teenage children, which I'm not sure I could handle that, but goodness bless them, Daniel and Miss Day. So I'm going to pick on you a little bit about some sexual stuff. Adam's going to get the easier side of it because I'm going to go and pick on him more on relationship stuff. But with you, for
Terrific.
whatever reason, we got sex.
I'm in the hot seat. Okay.
You're in the hot seat. So what is your favorite sexual position thus far in your sex life at age 27? I've always wanted to ask a 27-year-old hot guy this question. That's why it's stimulated in my head. So what would you say that is?
Honestly, I like to mix it up. One position, if you remain at one position, I think it'll get a little banal or redundant over time. So why
Nice.
not? Yeah,
So a large variety.
definitely.
You hear this, ladies? Variation in the bedroom. No more just missionary. No more just doggy style, even if it's your favorite. Or, a lot of women like to be on top. That's like their absolute favorite. But you hear this, ladies? Mix it up, change it up. Are you into outfits?
Well, in the bedroom, preferably no outfits,
I really can't stand this because there's so many hot, sexy outfits there. And we buy perfume, we buy different heels, we buy different outfits. And I swear to goodness, ladies, every guy I ever asked that question says pretty much a variation of, it's coming right off. Straight to the point.
Exactly.
Nice
Yes.
and efficient, this man is. So thank you. In regards to relationship, Adam,
Yes.
what would you say signifies the perfect girlfriend for you now, going into age 28.
Sure.
Has it changed? Do you feel a transition maybe from, like, let's say age 21 to 25 or 25 to 28? Or does this theoretical perfect woman for you, because I'm sure you've thought about it somewhat, has she pretty much stayed the same? And if so, just tell us about her.
Absolutely. Terrific question. And I feel like I'm on the hot seat right now.
It's hot. Period. We're all at hot
I
seat.
think my brother's diversity in the bedroom question was simpler. And,
Sorry, take a moment.
But
ladies.
but
When
terrific.
we ask a man a question, it does take you guys 17 whole seconds sometimes to wrap your head around it. You hear this, ladies?
Mm-hmm.
That's why when we say, do you love me? And a man doesn't respond right away, it's not necessarily a negative thing. He's wrapping his head around the question. You see, this is happening here. So take all the time you need.
Absolutely. I'm going to be very honest here. And there absolutely has been an evolution in the perfect woman category between the time frames that you mentioned, ages 21 through 25, 25 to 27, and now moving into 28. Right now, the perfect woman is I'm looking for the real deal. I'm looking to take the next step in life. I'm looking for marriage, and I'm looking for an absolute partner. And it's a bit of a challenge to find a partner. Obviously we look at phenotypic characteristics. We look for the good-looking, ideal candidates. But I'm also looking for someone to be an equal partner to me, like my twin brother is. So I have a relationship with my twin brother who I know extremely well. He knows me extremely well, nature and nurture. We spend a lot of time together, so it's a bit of a tall order to say that I have to generate a relationship with a female in a similar way that I've had with my brother for the past 28 years. But
Wow.
That's still what I'm looking for at this point. Maybe it's a leap. Maybe I'll be successful. I hope I will be. But that's what I'm looking for now. Between 25 to 28, it's been a bit more fun. And between 21 to 25, honestly, I was learning. A little bit more about both me and my brother here. We took our education very seriously, so I didn't exactly have the quintessential classic stereotypical dating life in college. I did college rather fast, and then we got 2 master's degrees, so we were very focused. And when moving to New York to
Didn't you guys, I don't mean to interrupt,
Yes.
but didn't you guys go to Harvard?
we both went to Harvard.
Harvard
Yes.
we did.
graduates
Yes.
at that twin. I love all these big
Yes.
institutions holding on to the twins. I love that.
Yeah, these fancy institutions really like my brother, and I just try to hang close to him.
Oh,
We will never know if that's true or not. That's awesome. That's awesome. Very serious place. And would you say you're only entering? You did say there was definitely a difference between 21 and 25, and then
Sure.
25 to 28.
Correct.
Yes.
Have you guys both been in this place of looking for a more serious femme contender, possibly and hopefully for marriage, since 25? Would you say, or 26 or 27?
I would say since 26,
Since 26.
considering the other environmental factors in our lives.
School and all that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Taking everything into account.
correct. But even though the pursuit might have started at 26, there's no question 2 years later that we each definitely and individually have a much more mature outlook. Just generally living and working through life,
Right.
you grow and mature as a person, which allows you to seek a better matched partner
Right.
in life.
It is a lifelong, fate for all of us. And just so you guys know, since I am a lot older, is that you will feel that way every year of your life. Like,
Yes.
wow, like I thought I knew who I was, this person in love last year, and wow, I actually am totally different this year. So, and if it makes either of you feel any better, my father is a twin with his son Daniel, and they are not identical. And my father has been a little bit of a loner. Maybe he could never find somebody like his twin. But his twin brother is very happily married to a gorgeous woman half his age, and they have like 5 kids together.
Very
And
nice.
he's beyond happy with her. And she certainly has replaced my father. Though my father is there a lot. So you guys will probably always be doing your holidays together and all of that. So, well,
That's very nice to hear, Gabby.
let's pick on Andrew now a little bit too before we ran out of time, since we actually have a 21-year-old on set. So tell us, Andrew, about who is this perfect woman ideally in your thought process now as a femme contender for your love life now that you're 21?
Well, I always thought of a perfect woman of someone smart, someone I can have a good conversation with, good looking, likes to work out, into sports just like I am, someone who mature enough to hold a conversation with me. There's a lot of pretty girls out there, but when it comes to their IQ level, I'm sorry to say this, not all of them have that certain IQ level to keep the conversation going. Sometimes it's all about their makeup, it's all about what they're wearing, and it's 1 or 2 dates, and that's about it. So for me to say, this is the perfect woman for me, this is the one, I wanna put a ring on her finger one day, she has to be really smart, really beautiful, and really athletic.
Wow. And you know, ladies, I hear this over and over from all men of all ages. Our personal care is extremely important. I hear this from all men of all ages. It's something that we just can't escape. It probably started with the makeup back in Egypt when they defined the beauty status, and we just all have to succumb to it. But the interesting thing is that it's becoming more of a fair world these days, and you guys also have to invest. The amount of men that do Botox in cities like LA and things like that, where they have to be on TV, is growing rapidly. And the men, you guys also have to now be metrosexuals to an extent and spend money on yourselves and working out. And I can see why you're saying this. Look at you and your hot body there. Can we take off the jacket and
You want me
maybe
to take it off?
can we show some muscles? Like maybe just to the side there. Let's flaunt it. Let's flaunt what we got. Why not?
Yeah, well, I try to work out 5 times a week.
This thing is as big as my femur. That is sizzling hot, dear. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gabby.
Touch it a little bit more. Okay. Woo. Hello. Wow. Amazing. So yes. So somebody that's going to spend this much time, I can see you having some high expectations. Somebody that went to Harvard is doing finance at Morgan Stanley. They're going to have high expectations, which helps us to raise our expectations of ourselves, which I don't think is ever a bad thing. So let's pick on you some more. Let's get into the sex, since I picked on these two. What is your favorite sexual position, and what advice do you have for us women in the bedroom?
I like to mix it up, as they said before. I don't like to stick with one position. But if I would have to pick a favorite, it would most likely be me carrying the girl and she has her legs wrapped around me.
Sizzle!
Yeah,
The
and
muscles to work.
I mean it's the most intimate position for me.
Woo! Most people can't do that, so congratulations to you that you can.
If you would ask me about an advice to give for women out there about sex, that would be just have fun in bed. Don't be so lame, and don't be too much of I'm trying to find the right word for it. Don't be too much open. Just be in the middle. If there's something that your boyfriend likes, just do it for him. Because if you don't, he'll find someone else to do it for him. And there's plenty of girls out there that would do it for him. So it's just a bit fun advice I like to
Yes.
give it out to you guys. It's I've been there. I mean, I had different sexual experiences, and the one I like the most is the girl I had the most feelings for. But she also very good in bed. She whatever it is, we just like both jump into it and we would just like do it. We're very
There was
open about
chemistry.
it. There was great chemistry between us. Yes.
That's awesome. I like that, stay open in the bedroom for your stallion of choice or your king or your Eastwood or your young lad, which are the different other categories I have for men in love in 2016, now 2017. It is something, it is important. I recently worked with a couple where the woman just felt that the right thing to do was to abstain sex from her husband. And I absolutely urged her to not ever make that the next available choice for her to do, because it's going to poison the relationship in one shape or form. Sex is absolutely very important to all people, not all. Some people are very what I call level 3, you guys. I put people in level 1, 2, and 3. And level 1 are those of us that are very comfortable with porn, that are kinky, will try different positions, toys possibly, open to that. Our level 2s are our most average sexual contenders out there, which is the person that may dibble and dabble if their partner wants, like you suggested, or they can also be with somebody who's a low libido person and abstain more from sex just to be with the partner of their choice. And the level 3 people are the people that are low libido. And the only ones that I recommend to stay away from each other are the level 3s and the 1s. That's a mismatch, right? And like what you're saying, what I'm hearing you say is, if I'm a level 1, please cater to my needs at least part-time, right? So I would definitely say, if you are a level 1, that you look for a level 1 or a level 2 femme at all times. I don't know what level you guys are. Do you think that can you figure out where you fit in my spectrum there? Level 1, 2, or 3?
I would say 2.
2. Okay. So the level 2s get the most sex partners. That's the good thing.
Now I'm getting jealous.
I used to be a level 2, and I'm becoming more of a level 1 because I realized that I prefer my partners that are higher libido than lower libido, even though I could do either one because I was a level 2. So now I'm like 1.5. Because I'm choosing either level 2s or level 1s predominantly over level 3s. What would you say you are?
Sticking to our identical nature and the fact that we do everything in 2s, I would say I'm a level 2.
Oh my goodness! It even goes on to the sexuality. I love those. Oh my God! I have to study twins more. I'm fascinated. And so that's it. You guys really, you can see what value does the girl. Let's say you fall in love with a level 3 and you fall in love with a level 1. That'll be some good conversations for you both to kind of figure that out. And you would both have to be okay. You'd have to be more okay and have a preference to dibble and dabble into level 1. And you would have to micromanage it in your brain of being okay to accept that you might at times feel sexual and not be able to get it, or you would probably want to cater to her feelings, and instead of you that would just go cheat on her, you would have to wrap your head.
Well, that's not what I said. No, but
I know, I like to be extreme.
I'd like to mention just one thing. Relationships don't have to be based on sex, but a relationship without a good sex is a relationship that will not last. That's from my very humble experience. That's from what I notice. So yeah,
Probably because you're a level 1 or you're a level 1, most likely, or a level 1.5 or a level 2. Because what I've learned is if I, as a matchmaker, I actually have two level, a woman and a man, level 3, that are they're doing so well, they're going to get married. Okay? And they're perfectly happy. And the sex may not necessarily be that great because you have to see the sex is not that important to them. Do you see? So you have to keep that in mind. But yes, for you, it's very important. For me, it's very important. But there are a small percentage of people out there where sex is not that important to them. So I would run from that woman if I were you, absolutely, because you'll never be satisfied, and she'll never be satisfied either, because she'll never feel like she's satisfying you. So I would say in the early stages of dating, I would have you break up with her. I know that
That's what
sounds
mostly
cold,
happens.
but
Yeah.
it has to be done, because otherwise, I look at longevity. What will make you happy for longevity? So let's finish up with that. Let's talk about longevity. We know where the twins are at, and you both happen to be in the same place where you would marry if you met the right partner in the next couple years, correct?
Yes, for sure.
So they're on a marriage track. Are you on a marriage track, or is just not something that's popped up yet? At your age, usually it's not, but you could be different.
I mean, where I am from, most people get married around my age right now.
Sure.
So my parents always tell me like, "Hey, you found the right one yet?"
Oh, wow.
But growing up in the U.S., I still think I'm way too young to get engaged and get married. And
Good.
you make different choices when you're younger than when you get older. So I do not want to take the wrong choice right now.
Good for you.
So I'm thinking about waiting maybe 4 or 5 years, maybe when I'm 26, like your age, guys, pretty much. And then if I find the right one and she sticks long enough, definitely I'm not opposing to the idea of getting married. I just don't think it's right now.
Good for you. It's really good for us all to know that when it's not. And, I used to have a theory, and I hope the twins can prove me wrong. My latest theory in the last few years has been that it's probably just not wise for anyone until they're 30 at least. So I hope you guys meet her soon. I hope I help you meet her. And then you wait until you're at least 30. Actually, what would be good right now, I have an older couple, both been married before. They're consciously waiting 2 years of living together before. Now, would you say that all three of you would be willing to live with a woman before you marry her?
Yes.
You would, okay?
Yes,
absolutely.
And you too? And you as
Yes.
well? Good. I'm glad that it's becoming more popular and standard way of thought.
If anything, I wowould think it's essential to live with someone before marriage, because to
Thank
really
you.
make sure that it works, because to live with someone under the same roof, to 24 hours a day would be pivotal before committing to a
Thank
full-fledged
you.
relationship.
Can you say that again? You would think, say it again, you would think that it's,
I would think that it's pivotal to live with someone 24 hours under a roof, under the same roof, together at the same residence before committing to a full-fledged marriage that should last a lifetime.
thank you. And that's the new avant-garde way of love in 2017 that I'm so excited about, because that makes the most rational sense. Absolutely, right? We really need to touch, feel, and experience what we intend to spend an entire lifetime with. It doesn't make sense other way. So back on the topic of longevity, let's hear what do you feel will really make you a satisfied husband for the long run?
Got it. From a partner, I think we should really, the heart and the kindness. Again, the heart can't be a vestigial organ. It has to really take the forefront and be. So when looking at to a spouse, at a wife, I really want kindness to be a nature that is exemplified every single day, and it really makes for a nice life and kindness and a friendship. And I think that, in addition to the physical nature and sex, it's all important. So it's a whole list of ingredients that all have to work together, obviously. And not everyone's good at everything, of course. But I really think that a giving, friendly, kind nature is extremely important. And that would set a tone in the household, would really make me an ecstatic husband forever, definitely.
Nice. I'm just happy that I met you and that you said kindness. I have pulled a lot of studies from Oxford, Harvard, Prince, Yale, and the number one ingredient that has been stated has been kindness. And I often feel like I rarely meet those people because I'm not sure if that would be mine per se. More connection would be mine, and me getting into exactly what I mean by that is another show. But when I meet somebody who says kindness, I'm always in honor of them because that to me is just a really beautiful thing. And maybe that's what we have to look for you as a woman that also wants kindness as her first ingredient. I always say we are entitled to 3 ingredients. After that, you're on your own, and you better get it from your brother or your coworker or your friend or your parents, because was it you that said you can't get everything from one person?
Yes.
We absolutely can't. So if you need to talk a lot, go to brunch with your friends. if you marry an introvert, it's like pick 3 non-negotiables. So for you, we have your number 1. So now you only have to think about consciously what your other 2 non-negotiables are for you.
Correct.
And you look for the woman that represents that. So how about you? For longevity's purposes, what would that perfect woman feel like for you?
I would say by keeping the relationship going, not like keep it interesting. Like if it's boring, it's not gonna go anywhere. I'm more like outgoing, like to do new stuff, like to do crazy stuff. So I'm looking for someone to be crazy with me. If we're just doing the same thing over and over and over every day, eventually that thing will die. It will just become boring, and one day we're just gonna stop and we just look for new people. So for me, I always like to keep it interesting. Hey, let's go try new places. Let's go try new stuff that we have never done before. Maybe travel to like new countries, new cities. See what's out there. Because at the end of the day, the world is like this tiny, and if you just stick inside your world, you're getting nowhere.
Sure. So here we have our Thrillist with his number 1 ingredient being fun and adventure, which tells me a lot about your personality type already, because that's my work in grad school, personality typology. And there is a perfect partner out there for you. So you have your first ingredient, and now think about consciously these next few weeks, what would be your second 2 non-negotiables, and then you look for a woman that represents that. And then let's get you in, so we get your non-negotiable, your first one.
Well, the first non-negotiable to my parents, for them to accept the woman I will marry, is that she must be Jewish.
Oh, wow. It wasn't the case for you, but okay. So there we go. That makes it pretty easy. And then you start.
But you say it would be easy, but in fact, this is the category for which I've personally struggled the greatest. And what do I mean by this?
Yeah.
Particularly, when dating a Jewish girl, the caveat that's come up is, well, what is your level of religion? Do you want to keep the Sabbath? Do you want to keep kosher? Do whatever? And then it's this faith that keeps the faith apart. So that's been a huge caveat, although it's definitely very important.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, but knowing that, that's great. Thank you all for being here, and I'm glad that we threw that in, and we'll have to have a show solely on religion.
Sure.
And the
That would be
number
a fun one.
ingredient. Let's do it. I'll have you both back. So thank you all for being here, and we will see you at the next Dr. Love.
Thank you, Gabi.